Struggling with IELTS writing task 2? You are not alone, okay, guys? One of the biggest challenges many IELTS students face is tackling this part of the exam, okay? So how can we overcome it and master task 2? Let's break it down step by step. First of all, I will be sharing real examples from students, showcasing both the common mistakes and the more serious ones that tend to repeat. In each video, I will provide a question from task 2, along with the student's answer, which you will see on the screen. So take a moment to pause and read the answer and analyze it for yourself. Then I will dive deep into the analysis, pinpointing grammatical mistakes and assessing it according to IELTS evaluation criteria. This approach will help you see exactly where students go wrong and, more importantly, how to fix these issues. Let's transform these mistakes into learning opportunities and get you ready for a stellar IELTS writing task 2 performance. Everything is clear. Let's move on. First one, singular versus plural agreement. Okay, the mistake is to ensure safer sport participation for young athletes. But the noun sport should be sports because plural sports to match the context as we are discussing sports in general, not a specific sport. So corrected version is to ensure safer sports participation for young athletes. So second mistake, sport institutions should ensure a permanent presence of qualified staff. But again, sport should be plural here. Then sports institutions is more commonly used to refer to organizations involved in multiple sports. So correction would be sport institutions should ensure a permanent presence of qualified staff. So second problem. Now, this is incorrect word choice, guys. Okay, signs. The mistake is signs or discomfort in each child. Okay, but the correct phrase is signs of discomfort. So, of is the appropriate preposition to indicate that the signs are related to discomfort. Okay, so correction is signs of discomfort in each child. So, third one, subject-verb agreement. So, the lack of training and supervision are major factors that lead to injuries in yacht sports. Okay, but what is the problem here? The subject here is the lack of training and supervision subject, which should be considered as a singular subject because lack is the main noun. Also, therefore, our should be is to match the singular subject. So, correction would be the lack of training and supervision is a major factor that leads to injuries in youth sports. So, fourth one, informal contraction. Okay, what is our mistake? If children do not know the correct way to use equipment, so in formal writing, contractions like don't should be avoided. Instead, use do not to maintain a formal tone. So if children do not know the correct way to use equipment will be better. Okay. 5. Redundant language. Guys, so which will reduce the chance of getting injured. The sentence is wrong. Okay. Explanation is that getting injured is informal and getting is redundant here. So reduce the risk of injury is a more concise and formal alternative. Okay. So the correction will be which will reduce the risk of injury. Everything is clear? Let's move on. 6. Missing articles. Okay, lack of adequate supervision. Okay, so in English, general nouns often require articles a and d. When discussing something in a specific context, a, lack of adequate supervision would be more grammatically complete. So, corrected version is a lack of adequate supervision. So, 7. Inconsistent tense and word choice. Okay, can lead to injuries over time. This is wrong. Can lead to injuries over time. Lead to injuries over time actually is correct, but adding a model will be appropriate like may for formality, for added formality. Additionally, using may results in injuries sounds slightly more formal. Also, which may result in injuries over time will be the best tone. Okay, guys, let's move on. So, let's summarize the grammar mistakes first, then I will move on to another section. First of all, singular plural verb agreement or use plural nouns to appropriate to match the context. Second one, incorrect word choices. Ensure propositions and phrases accurately match their intended meaning. And then third one, subject verb agreement. Verify that the verb met the subject in numbers, especially in complex subjects. Okay. So avoid contractions in formal writing. Use full forms instead of contractions for a formal tone. 4. Redundant language. Avoid unnecessary words and aim for concise, formal expressions. Then it will be better. And then 5. Missing article. Okay. Use articles with general nouns to provide clarity and completeness. Okay. Then inconsistent tense and word choice. Consider models or more formal language to improve precision and tone. Then your article will be amazing. So let's start analyzing the candidate's essay. First one, task response. First of all, the candidate addresses both parts of the question, identifying the main reasons for injuries in youth sports, lack of training and supervision, and proposing solutions, of course, gradual training programs and consistent supervision. Okay. However, we have some problems in this situation, while the response provides relevant reasons and solutions. It could not be strengthened by adding specific examples or discussing potential challenges to implementing these solutions. So, second one, the conclusion could benefit from a brief recap of the proposed solutions to reinforce the response. Then coherence and cohesion. So the essay is totally well organized with a clear introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. Cohesive devices like, for instance, and another contributing factor help to structure the response logically. Nevertheless, the structure is clear, adding transitions such as, firstly, in addition, in body paragraphs could improve the flow between points. So the candidate could enhance cohesion by restating the main points in a slightly different way, I guess, in the conclusion. So for a more effective summary, okay? So third one, lexical resource. Actually, the vocabulary is generally appropriate and includes relevant terms like overload, traumas, techniques, and supervision. But, but the vocabulary could be more varied. For example, the word injuries is repeated frequently. Synonyms like harm, accidents, and wounds could improve the lexical diversity. So some word choices are slightly informal, such as watching over them. Replacing this with monitoring will be more suitable in formal writing. Okay, guys? Then let's move on. Overall bond score. I guess it is plus half a minus 7.5. So vocabulary complexity, in my opinion, C2. Continue to challenge and refine your vocabulary choices. It will be the best. But grammar mistakes, 6. Vocabulary repetition, we have. Be careful. Supports, use 7 times. Training, 7 times. Injuries, 6 times. Children, 5. Physical, 3. Young, 4. Supervision, 3. Athletes, 3. Which, 3. A lot of repetition we have. Okay. So task response, band 8. There was no discussion. The essay directly addresses the question, providing relevant and well-developed ideas. And the solutions offered are logical and well supported. Minor expansion on the solution could elevate the response. Why not? So coherence and cohesion, 7.5. The essay is well organized and essay to follow as well. Okay. Ideas flow logically and transitions are smooth. Paragraphing is effective totally. So, lexical resource, it is 6. Unfortunately, it is 6. The vocabulary is accurate and appropriate, demonstrating a good range of words. More sophisticated vocabulary could be incorporated to enhance the response. So, he or she has to pay attention to vocabulary repetition to improve the overall score. Okay, grammatical range and accuracy. This is 7.5. The grammar is accurate and demonstrates a good range of structures. Minor errors are present, but do not impede understanding. Okay, so estimated bond score overall for task response 7, coherence and cohesion 7, lexical resource 7, grammatical range and accuracy of course 7, and overall I can give only 7. Okay, so let's see corrected version and band 9 model answer. Right side, you see an example of what we wrote at the band 9 level, and on the left side, you see the corrected version of the article written by the student according to the criteria and our suggestions. I leave the difference and comments to you. So do not forget to tell us in the comments what would you like to know. Okay, so first up, we looked at an essay by candidate with a solid structure, but repetitive phrasing dragged the score down. In the second version, improvements brought it up to a potential 8.5 score range. And finally, we examined a high-scoring essay that nailed it with advanced vocabulary, fluid style, and real-world examples, pushing it to likely 8.5, 9. So the top-tier version did not just avoid repetition. It was engaging, impactful, and every point was supported with relevant examples that made the arguments shine. So what is the secret to reaching the top band? Diversify your vocabulary, back up your points with compelling examples, and swap out repetitive words for synonyms. Okay? So everything is clear? To reach your aim, stick with us, and we share new essays and detailed breakdowns every day. Like, follow, and drop your questions in the comments below. Never forget to get you closer to us to reach your lab.